Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Konveyor community call. Today is August 7th. My name is Savita Raghunathan, and I'll be your host today. I have linked the agenda in the chat. It's pinned, so feel free to add yourself to the agenda. I'm going to pause for a minute to see if anyone wants to say. Otherwise, we'll just dive into the topics. All right, then the first one is demo. We have one from Pranav. Pranav, whenever you are ready, I'll stop presenting my screen.
I was trying to do a live demo for this one, and I'm still building my project. Do you guys want to skip my part and come back to it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can go
Sorry
first if
about
you
that. Yeah.
No,
I
that's
think
fine.
that works. I'll reshare my screen, and I think the next few items are from Dylan.
Yeah, do you mind if I just share mine so I can pull out
Oh
these
yes,
links?
please. Yes,
Alright.
of course.
Otherwise, I'll be like, "Hey, Savita, click this." Click this. Okay. So, okay, I just wanted to provide kind of like a quick update and overview as to where we stand with the current releases for Konveyor. So, if you go here, this will show kind of the 08 milestone dates that we're marching towards. So, code freeze is September 2nd. Which we can reassess in 2 weeks if we're getting on pace for that, with an estimated target release date of the 16th of September. And I linked the appropriate features below. We just published Alpha 2. I did that last night, so I think we're pretty close to cutting a beta, but I'm trying to wait until we get the last bit of work for the feature freeze in. So I linked the Operator Hub release on community operators. I got the Contra releases published as well. The outstanding work for feature freeze is in the UI for asset generation and platform awareness. We're targeting the 12th, Tuesday, just because we had a slight delay with some people out. So it looks like we're on pace that we can actually cut probably a third alpha just to make sure all the integration points went well together. And assuming that does go well, I'm going to hope to have a beta before we meet again in 2 weeks. So that's where we stand at 08. On the Kai front, with version 0.2, we did publish a pre.1 version that I've linked below that you can install. And we'll talk about kind of what the next steps are there in a second when we get down to Fabian's section. But then lastly on the roadmap, I want to call out that we are accepting enhancements for 0.9. So I set the enhancement freeze date for the release date, the GA date of 08. Maybe we can push this around as needed. But the point being, I already see like a couple enhancements up for consideration for 0.9. If you have other stuff that you are interested in including, now is the time over the next like 6 weeks. Any questions on that?
I really like how you have the dates on Tuesday, not a Monday. Appreciate it. I just have one question. Like, is 0.9? I think 0.9 is going to be the last release of this year. With the holidays, are we going to release it in January or try and release it in December?
Great question. Don't know the answer. I think that would probably depend on the content. So depending on how many enhancements we get and what we want to include, we probably have to make that decision.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. My question was more like just to start the conversation, not to. I was not looking for the answer. I just wanted to like remember on a holiday, like December, most of us will be out, and I just want to make sure that it's all communicated. Cool. Thank you, Dylan.
Yeah, thanks. Pranav, are you ready? Or do you want me to go over the sprint goals for while you keep getting set up?
Yeah, I'm still running analysis.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'll keep going then. All right. So this is a section that I added just to kind of improve how we communicate, kind of what work is in flight and what we're planning to do in between community meetings. So I'm just listing some high-level goals for the sprints, and I broke out based on kind of the leads associated with these areas of where their boards are, so you can go and find the associated issues. I think that we were doing kind of a poor job of that in the past. So just real quickly for the next 2 weeks, the high level goals that we're targeting, we're in a bug fix cycle. So again, like we're freezing all feature work on Tuesday. So we fully expect to find a bunch of bugs actually on the asset generation platform awareness side when that stuff gets merged and integrated together. But we also have a bunch of known open bugs on the analyzer that we're targeting fixing for '08. So it's a big bug fix cycle. A goal would be to actually get Kai published to the VS Code marketplace. There's a lot of interest in this, and we've already started the conversation of getting the Konveyor credentials so we can get this thing published up there as well as our GitHub. And then I'd like to get a beta release by the end of the sprint that kind of captures some hardening of the '08 features. On the tackle side, which I haven't discussed topic about calling this tackle. I'd like the idea of calling this tackle. This is essentially kind of all the operator hub add-on UI work. Jeff can't make it today, so I'm just going to provide a quick overview. If you want more details, you can click this board and kind of see a breakdown of the work. We are not done with the UI work for asset generation and platform awareness, so we're trying to fix that by Tuesday. So that's going to fall into the sprint. We need to do a significant amount of testing of this feature. So everything is kind of in flight across all the different components. Once we get a build on Tuesday of everything working together, we kind of think this is going to lead to just a bunch of bugs that we have to fix and address quickly. So there's a few like other tech debt things that are listed here, but to me, this is like the top priority goals for these next 2 weeks. Emily, you want to just quickly go over the high level goals for the analyzer?
Yeah, I can. So one thing that I really want us to get through in the next sprint is resolving a lot of the backlog in the analyzer. There's quite a lot of still issues that I want us to go back and verify that have been open for a long time, just to see if there's still valid issues. We also are going to add test coverage for asset generation in the CLI. And the past couple weeks, we have added quite a bit of change to the Java provider dependency analysis that we will need to update the CI test with. And lastly, resolve any issues around Gradle dependency analysis in the CLI, and that should be it.
Perfect. Thank you. And again, there's the link to that board if you're interested in seeing that breakdown. Fabian, you just give a quick overview of the next 2 weeks of Kai.
Yeah, I mean, the next 2 weeks of Kai, basically, we've gotten everything that we want to get in fundamentally to Kai. So these next 2 weeks are going to be really focused on hardening, testing, identifying, and fixing or like at least catching edge cases, and then leveraging the work that Alex has done with Playwright to really make sure that we have a well-defined test suite over all of our sort of core functionality that gives us more certainty as we move into the next feature phase. So it'll be a lot of testing and a lot of bug fixing and not a whole lot else.
Perfect. Thank you. Any questions on the upcoming sprint? Cool. Pranav, you ready? You want me to keep going? All right, cool.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. So
your screen is very small. It's like very thin.
That's cause okay.
Pranav has a vertical screen now.
Nice.
Yeah, because I could fit like more chat messages in the view. So
He's 5 years ahead of us in the AI meta.
all right. So yeah, I just have the Cool Store app. Oh, by the way, I'm going to demo the tracing abilities that we added in last few weeks. So what that allows us to do is trace all of the LLM responses. Once you enable tracing, and provide a trace directory. It'll be relative to your workspace, or you can have it configured as a absolute path outside of the workspace. But yeah, there's mainly two settings that you want enabled. First one is trace enabled, set it to true, and then the set a trace directory. Once you configure that, all of the interactions that happen with the LLMs are traced, and you will have human readable traces of your chat. So basically, uh, I can just demonstrate real quick. Oh, by the way, we also added this new agent mode configuration right here, so you don't have to set agent mode in the settings, but I'm just going to use that and fix this issue. JMS topic. And so the idea is that uh, a lot of the work that the agent does in the background is not displayed to the user. For instance, right now, like there's a bunch of additional information that is generated here. We analyze that additional information and figure out if there's any more steps we should take. Another example is when we look at diagnostic issues, we have a planning agent uh, uh, planning agent that goes through the issues and figures out what changes we need to do across the project to fix those issues. So as you can see, there's this question, but there was some processing that happened between this and like the last message and this message. So all of this information you can find under traces that are generated. So for each model, you're going to have a separate directory, and then there's going to be a session ID of sort for that chat session. Under that, you will just basically find all of the LLM messages sequentially. So for instance, uh, uh, after the first fix, which is the 0th message, you can see the actual LLM data that was generated. The next message in the chat is this question, but there was some processing, like some thinking that went into between these two steps. You can see that in the in here, like there was some processing of additional information, and this was what the LLM actually produced. Like this is basically the steps, the actual steps the model is going to take when you hit yes over here. We are like there was ask around this, like displaying this information in some sort of a progress message, so the user knows like what changes, what exactly the changes are going to be. So we will be working on that, but the tracing in general helps you debug issues or like take a look at the actual LLM output. That's all I had.
That's really cool. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you, Pranav. It's
No problem.
really good. There's a message from John that says, "Thank you. This helps a lot for debugging."
Yeah.
Next up is a demo from Hiteshwari.
It's actually not a demo, but I just want to let you know that Solution Server voiceover demo is on a YouTube now. This demo walks through the motivation, architecture, and impact of the feature with the realistic migration scenario involving 2 applications in healthcare organization. Also, we have a scenario documented. One is a partial scenario that is covered in the voiceover demo, and another scenario is end-to-end with both of those 2 applications, which has 12 to 15 incidents. And I know we had a question in the last call about installing and trying out the solution server. So that will be integrated with the operator. I think it's almost ready, but if still someone wants to install, you can reach out to the team and we can help with the script that can install locally for now.
Thank you, Teshwari. I just uploaded it, so I don't think people had a chance to see that video. It's so soothing. That's what I would say. It's really great video, but the voice is so soothing. Thank you, Teshwari. If folks have anything that they want to add, any questions, anything at all, you can reach out to us in the Cube Slack or via the meeting list, or just create an issue in the one of the repos, and someone from our team will triage. Next up is from Alex. Topic about end-to-end tests.
I was on mute. Yeah, mine is a demo either. It's just a heads up for you to know that we have integrated the end-to-end test that we had in a different repo into the editor extensions repo under the test folder. And then we have documented what we already have in automated. It's using Playwright, and we are already covering the basics of every operation that Kai can perform. And also there is a guide under the docs folder, which contains everything that you need to know before trying to write your own tests and how to run them as well. So if you want to contribute, you should definitely look at this file. And then that was it. Thank you, Saitha.
Thank you so much, Alex. Kudos for putting that document together. I tried it yesterday and it was really smooth. So thank you so much. If folks want to contribute, this is also a great place to understand our project and to get started. And any kind of contributions are welcome. That's all for the demos, and I'm going to pass it back to Dylan. There are like few, I think there is an open discussion item, and oh no, there is an enhancement that Dylan talk about, and then there are open discussions. So Dylan, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I'm not even the right person necessarily, but I wanted to call this out that we already have an enhancement that Sean would like considered for 09. So I'd linked this here, and I'm not going to be the technical expert on this, but I know generally what this is for. So he's really interested in improving how we can leverage more of the external providers in a containerless fashion. So right now, Contra leverages containers for anything that's not Java. And if you wanted to integrate containerless capabilities for all the providers, you'd have to do this like on a per provider basis. So this enhancement, my understanding of it is that it's trying to change the communication protocol that we can use within the analyzer that would better support how a user could actually install providers for other languages, and we could support containerless capabilities everywhere. So this really benefits not only Contra and the Konveyor analysis engine, but also for Kai, because then we can get more languages integrated into Kai without needing to have a big performance drop. So I'm just calling this out there. I'm not the expert on this, and maybe when Sean's able to join, we can actually have a more in-depth conversation. But please review this because it's very interesting. I haven't seen anyone actually provide any comments on it yet. So I just kind of called that out. That's kind of being considered for 09. On the open discussion, I wanted to propose that we evolve our SIG structure to better reflect where we currently stand as a community. So if I scroll to the top, right, we've got 4 SIGs. We've got core, add-ons, analyzers, and UI. My proposal is to let people better contribute to areas that are most relevant and interesting to them. We introduce a Kai SIG. The Kai SIG is focused on Kai, obviously, because nothing is really currently capturing that. I would propose that we deprecate the add-on SIG. I think the add-on SIG has effectively been covered by the core SIG. And then my last proposal is that we bundle core and UI into one SIG, and I like calling it tackle. To me, like all the repos are prefixed with tackle anyway, and it's been the name of this component forever, even though as a whole we call this conveyor, like it's still called the tackle hub, it's still called the tackle UI, it's still called the tackle add-ons. I was thinking of one term to describe all this. I came up with tackle, but I'm open to any idea or name that you want to call it. Just the point being, kind of how we have this board broken out that captures all the work for like the operator-based installation. I would just like to have one SIG for that effort.
Would it make any sense to have a SIG that's also just dedicated to the extension, or are we calling that as Kai as well?
I would call that Kai, but
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense as long as it's clear.
I considered Kai to capture the editor extension and the solution server.
Okay.
Even though the solution server gets deployed by the operator, I think that the business logic is so central to Kai that I would call it as a.
Okay, and then like the analysis work, like the analyzer falls under
analyzers.
Analyzers, okay.
Yeah, we already have one
for the RPC piece that speaks to the editor extension, which I assume is Kai.
Okay.
Or maybe we need to figure out what the okay. Just curious, just trying to figure out the boundary.
That's a great question. I don't exactly know.
It probably would make sense to break that out of the repository the solution server's in right now anyway, because right now we have to version everything kind of oddly. So
yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. Regardless, I think this has to happen. And I'd like to see this happen only because there's not really there's not enough reason to justify having these three things as separate SIGs. I think one SIG for that makes sense. A Kai SIG and an analyzer SIG defining the boundary makes a ton of sense. But once we do that, I think they are separate and unique. Like the analyzer SIG should capture contra, it should capture all the rule set work, and it should capture the work going into analyzer LSP. The Kai boundary should be the user-facing components for Kai. So editor extension, solution server.
So then it maybe makes sense to move the RPC front end for the analyzer into the analyzer.
I think it does. Yeah.
I think it makes so. I mean, it really doesn't. I don't think there's a great reason to have them all mixed into the Kai repo. I think that's more just how development happened.
Got it. Okay. So I don't know what to do about this yet. I just think we should probably I don't see why we can't come to a conclusion on this in the next 2 weeks. And the next community call, we provide an update on this. Unless there's like really strong feelings on this. I know we need to evolve the process. So why don't we start somewhere, then we can keep improving it as we move forward. Just my 2 cents. Thoughts, comments?
So, plus one on this. I just want to say that if we are going to rename core UI, combine everything into tackle, we'll just need to add or clarify, because when we moved from when we submitted Konveyor for Sandbox, there was a lot of questions about is tackle separate, Konveyor separate. It had been rebranded, so there were a lot of questions about it. I think we just need to capture that somewhere to clarify this tackle sig means we are combining these.
Yeah, I had a question too. Is there did we consider just using the word core and not having to worry about renaming everything?
No, I don't see why not. That's fine. Yeah.
It's just for pure laziness, because it's almost like and it kind of goes to it, because I think the core of Konveyor is like that hub, UI, operator, all those pieces.
That sounds good. Yeah. There's no good reason why I did that. I just did that. So I like that. We'll just reuse the core sig and deprecate add-on sig, bundle the UI into the core sig. Good to go.
And I would also suggest that we create one for non-code contributions, like a community which can add documentation, release, everything comes under it, just so that when we onboard more contributors in the future, it's easy for them to have a space for it. We could vote on it. We don't have to like.
Maybe my take on that is maybe we wait until we have that problem to solve, just because
Okay.
I don't know that I want to have another meeting that is useless. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
But I think it makes sense once we do have those people and those contributors, for sure.
And Dylan, just trying to say right now, so the thinking is that with the SIGs that we have, there is a lead for each SIG, and the lead for each SIG is coming to this meeting. And then in this meeting, kind of helping us know, hey, over the next 2 weeks, I went through, I looked at what's going on for sprints, everything's okay on Kanban, and here's a quick readout.
That's exactly correct. That was all I had. I don't know if there's any other questions on that, but I guess maybe the next steps, action items for this. How do we do this, Vita? Do we vote on this? Like, or
Yeah, that's the next step. So it would be like we would create an issue in a committee repo, and then mostly the people who are on the maintainer list, that will be binding votes, but every vote will be welcome. It's just going to be a +1 or a thumbs up or whatever that we decide. And once we have like 2/3 of the majority, we'll just rename, refactor all the things that we want to do here.
okay. So I will create that issue then. So I'll create an issue and I'll pass that to you, Svita, and you can help me distribute that, and then we can get
Sounds
gather
good.
votes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Once we have that, we'll just post it everywhere, like in the Slack channel and in the mailing list, so that folks are aware. And then we will just wait for a few weeks. And by the next committee meeting, like you said, we should just have a new SIG formed or restructured, however, whatever word we want to use.
Okay. That sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you. And so we have reached the end of the agenda. And anyone wants to bring any other discussion items here?
I really like this format for the community meeting. This is quite productive.
All right then. Cool. So if anyone has any questions, any comments, any feedback, feel free to reach out. You can find us in Cube Slack, mailing list, or create an issue in one of their posts. Thank you. We'll see you all soon. The next community meeting. Bye. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya.